Hey, it's Garbrac here with a week in review. In this series, we're basically going to take everything that we've learned over the week and kind of put it all into one little video. Or at least I'm going to provide you with titles or topics that we discussed throughout the week, and I will put links in the description as to where you guys can find this information. So, the first thing I will kind of want to talk to you guys about is throughout this last week, we haven't really been given a lot of information. We've been given some official tips or tidbits of information. One of the big things that was released this week was the Drew or the Dro or the Drog or however you guys really want to pronounce it. I pronounce it as the Drew. It's the giant spider crab crustacean tall evil thing with lightning bolts. It's kind of hard to explain. It's probably really not that hard to explain if somebody's better with words than I am. But anyways, so it's an Oblivion mob. It's a mob from the Oblivion game, and it will be in Elder Scrolls Online, and it looks phenomenal. I mean, it's astounding. I mean, for an MMO game, a game that's designed to play on the lower end of the machine spectrum, it looks just astounding. If that's what the mobs and the environment's going to look like, this game is going to blow every other MMO out of the water. So I am super stoked about that. I mean, it's just, oh, it's going to look so good. Another thing that we talked about this week was social networking. It's a feature that Elder Scrolls and ZeniMax is going to be putting into Elder Scrolls. So what's going to happen is when you create your Elder Scrolls Online account, it'll give you an option. Hey, do you want to link this to your Facebook? So you can take basically all your friends from your Facebook or your Google Plus or your Twitter and have it compared against current Elder Scrolls Online accounts, and if they match, it'll actually add them to your friend list. So you don't have to post on your Facebook, hey, I'm playing this game, add me, or anything like that. It'll actually automatically do it. This is optional. It is not a required feature. When I made the video, a lot of people commented and said, well, this is okay, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of pop. It's going to be very annoying. I don't think it's going to be annoying at all. I think it's going to be, like I said, 100% optional and probably extremely non-intrusive at all. So, but I mean, everything right now, it's all skeptical as to what the feature's going to be like until at least we can get our hands in there and start playing with the closed beta. And as soon as that NDA is lifted, I'm going to have videos after videos after videos of so much content. So another feature we talked about this week was the Elder Scrolls user interface. So in that video, we talked about the minimap, we talked about the full screen map, we talked about targeting, we talked about the action bar and the health bars, what they're going to be looking like, or at least where they're going to be positioned. There was a great comment in that video. Somebody was saying that your minimap actually only shows stuff that's in front of you. So anybody who plays in first-person view, they won't have they're not at a disadvantage to anybody that's playing third-person, because obviously in third-person you have a much wider field of view, but on the minimap it's actually identical. So that's a pretty good feature. If that's true, again, this was just a comment, so it's hard to say, but I do like that feature. Another thing that we talked about this week was targeting, and tab targeting, specifically tab targeting. It's a good thing and a bad thing all at the same time. Tab targeting has a very negative vibe to it, because other MMOs, I mean, it's just tab target, tab target, tab target. You could pretty much, when you think tab targeting, or at least when I think tab targeting, I think of World of Warcraft and homing missiles and homing fireballs and stuff like that. Whereas when you think Elder Scrolls, there was none of that. There was no heat-seeking fireballs of death. It took skill to make sure you're aiming, you're hitting your target, especially if you were an archer. If you were an archer, it took a lot of skill to hit something from the distance. Another thing that did come out this week, actually just came out relatively recently, was part 2 of the Ask Me Anything Aldemary Dominion version. So if you are going to be playing on that faction, or if you're very into the lore, definitely hit that up. Again, I'm going to put the link in the description, so you'll be able to go there and actually just take a look and see what questions were answered. So But that was really about it this week. I mean, there really wasn't much happening this week. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more information. I doubt it, strictly because it's the holidays. I'd be surprised if anything's even released other than the dev question of the week. Even then, I'm going to be a little bit surprised. Throughout the next 2 weeks, I mean, we got Christmas, we got New Year's. They, as developers, all have real lives too, so I don't like that idea, but we have to allow them to have real lives, right? You guys probably noticed, I mean, we've got Christmas lights all the way around. I'm just setting up for the live stream tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit festive. Again, it's Christmas, right? Yeah, I talked about the live screen. Hit us up tomorrow, live stream. It's going to be on twitch.tv/Garbrac. We're going to be streaming live. Basically, it's going to be discussion. Some of the topics we're going to be discussing is going to be the user interface, social networking, trying to think of what else. Gold farming, how to control it was a big one. I really want to get some people's input on that one. Gold farming and trying to combat it, and bots. I mean, every MMO you play will have gold farmers and have bots in it. I mean, it's just, you can't fight against it. Diablo 3, personally, I think is probably by far the worst game for bots and gold farmers. Guild Wars 2 at launch was pretty bad, but nothing compared to what Diablo 3 was. World of Warcraft obviously has your bots and your miners and stuff like that, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's hard to combat. And just on that topic really fast, I think Blizzard actually has the best system in place. They have a program called Warden. It's a little bit intrusive. I mean, it scans your system's memory to see for running processes. And it actually, they have a built-in system to that system itself, is it'll actually monitor your standard playtime. So if you use your account between the hours of 5 p.m. and usually 2 a.m. For like 6 months, and then all of a sudden you're going from like 5 p.m. to like 4 a.m. or something like that, or all through the night for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, it flags your account, and people are like, okay, well, what's going on? They'll actually investigate it. So it's a built-in system. It's a really cool system. Again, it's a little intrusive, but I mean, it does help limit the gold farmers. So. But yeah, so tonight, well, technically tonight, 10 p.m., definitely hit up the stream. We got some Humble Bundles we're going to give away. You guys can follow me on Twitter. It's @rgetchell. I'll put that in the description as well. And like I said, hopefully my videos have been at least useful to you guys, giving you some little bit of information, maybe getting you guys to think a little bit. Other than that, I'll be making videos again on Monday and throughout the week. So I hope you guys have a safe and happy weekend, and see you next week.